Hello there and welcome to another 6 Minutes to Success. I want to talk to you today for just a couple of minutes about goals. I want to talk to you about where you're going and what you want to do with your life. You see, most people never go after what they want because they don't know every step they have to take to get there. I want you to think of a person going up the side of a wall of ice. Now, the only rule for reaching a goal that you have to know is knowing where you're going and knowing that you're going to get there. You do not have to know how you're going to get there. Now, pay attention to this for a moment. Imagine the climber has all his equipment. He's got his crampons, he's got his climbing rope, his hardware, his ice axes. How does he get to the top? He's standing on the ground, and he's looking at maybe 100-foot vertical wall of ice. He looks up and he has absolutely no idea the path that he's going to take. He just sees himself at the top. He reaches up and he puts one pick in and then another pick. Then he raises one foot and then the other. Now he's not standing on the ground any longer. He's suspended on the wall on a vertical wall of ice that goes up for 100 feet. He adapts to the changes that is taking place in his environment. And then and only then does he see the next step. And he moves this pick, then this pick, then this foot, then this foot. Now, that's how he gets to the top, a step at a time. And that's how you're going to get to your goal. You just have to know the first step to take. And when you take that step, you're going to find that your conditions, your circumstance, and environment will change. Then you see how you have to make the next step. It's a matter of adapting all the time. You only have to know two things. You have to know where you're going, and you have to know that you're going to get there. You've got to see it in your mind. Now, this is the beautiful scenario. This is what it's all about. Save that in your mind and think of it often. Think. Every time you think of your goal and you're trying to figure out how you're going to do it, think of that vertical wall of ice. What's the next step? That's all you really have to know. One step at a time. And you'll get to wherever you're going. That's how Hillary got to the top of Mount Everest. This is Bob Proctor, and thank you.
If you want to stay small, be the smartest guy on the block. And that's why most accountants, most attorneys, most doctors never get rich. It's because they're too narrow. You know, they're experts in toenail removal or something, you know what I mean? Or my attorney, that poor guy is an A student. He knows jack about outside of that. Whereas I never had, I flunked out high school twice because I can't write. It's ironic I'm a writer today. But the reason I'm pretty good is because in the military we're taught to be generalists, not specialists. So when I sit down with my team, I have accountants, I have attorneys, I have media guys, I have IT guys, I have graphic designers and all this. So I operate as a team since I don't know anything. So in actuality, being a great entrepreneur means I could be the laziest guy and I can know the least. But I have to have a very smart team, which is the ring finger around me. So because I was never smart, I had respect for people who are smart. And a lot of times I meet A students and they think they're the smartest guys on planet Earth. And that lack of respect is what keeps them small. And that's what most corporate guys want to do. Stay small, you know, you gotta climb that corporate ladder, you gotta beat the other guy to win the job, and it's all that stuff. It's not the way an entrepreneur really works. It's corporate. It's school system. You know, you got to beat out for the grades. You got to have the best grades. I don't have to be the best, but I have to hang out with the best.
The one that affected me the most, and pretty well the only job I ever had, was when I worked at an ice cream store. And I tell this story because it's so relevant for me, but it also applies to other entrepreneurs. I got fired. I was told to scrape the floor, gum off the floor. I thought I wasn't hired for that. I was supposed to scoop ice cream. And there was a girl I was interested across the mall looking at me. I didn't want her to see me on my knees, so the woman who ran the shop fired me. She fired me. And it was so powerful to me to realize that I was at totally her command and her whim, and she controlled my destiny. I vowed at that young age as a teenager I'd never work for anybody again. I could afford to buy that mall and bulldoze it today, but only because of her. I mean, she's the one that made me say to myself, I can't do this. I can't be an employee. And I tell that story to other entrepreneurs to realize once you get that passion, once you have that desire, that's the only thing that matters. And that's why you should pursue it. If you want to control your own destiny, this is the only way you can.
It's easy to have ideas. It's very hard to turn an idea into a successful product. There are a lot of steps in between, and it takes persistence, relentlessness. So I always tell people who are, who think they want to be entrepreneurs, you need a combination of stubborn relentlessness and flexibility. And you have to know when to be which. And basically you need to be stubborn on your vision, because otherwise it'll be too easy to give up. But you need to be very flexible on the details, because as you go along pursuing your vision, you'll find that some of your preconceptions were wrong, and you're going to need to be able to change those things. So I think taking an idea successfully all the way to the market and turning it into a real product that people care about and that really improves people's lives is a lot of hard work.